Hi, this is Gene. I just wanted to record a quick video for non-photography majors. So if you're not a photography major, then you probably don't have access to Photoshop, and nor do you need to invest in it. If you just want to manipulate your images a little bit, like a couple of images a week, like you're not into big production or anything like that, then this Photopea.com, which is a free online image editor, is perfectly fine to use for this class and in your future. If you ever decide that you want a little bit more, but you don't want a license for Photoshop, remember you can always buy Adobe Photoshop Elements, which is like the amateur version of Photoshop. Very much the similar features, but it's only like a $79 price tag if you buy it from academicsuperstore.com as a student. But again, you don't even need to buy that for this course. So I just went to this address. I'm clicking open from computer, which is the same thing you will do. It's going to bring up my little dialog box here of where I can browse for images. So I'm going to choose this image. I'm going to click upload, and it's already uploaded. Now looking at this, you have the same features as you do in Photoshop. It's just not as rich. Like there's not as many features. Like it has 10% of the features, but it has only the features you need in this beginning photography class, because this class is about capturing with your camera. So maybe like here the horizon line is crooked. So I've selected the crop tool, and do notice that all the tools over here are similar to identical to Photoshop. So I'm going to click inside here to crop. And since my horizon is crooked, I'm going to hover on the outside of the box, right? And my cursor changes to that double arrow, and I'm going to rotate until this top line looks like it's matching this line. And I think I'm there. So I'll hit enter. All right, I created some transparent areas, unfortunately. Whenever you see the white and gray checkerboard, that means there's a transparency there. So we need to recrop. But this time I can just draw straight out and just make sure I'm inside of that. And click enter again. And yeah, my horizon line's cropped and straight. And maybe I want to adjust the contrast a bit. And I'm going to do it with levels, because I cover that a lot in Photoshop. Notice this dialog box even is very similar to Photoshop. Maybe I want to make the midtones a little darker, but the brights just a little bit brighter. Maybe I made them too dark. Something like that. Click OK. And now what's your last thing you need to do is just resize it for delivery. Remember, you're just resizing these images to the longest dimension of 1920. Because remember, 1920 by 1080 is full HD, which is all we need to see these images at. I don't need to see a giant 24 megapixel image. So go to File, Export As, choose JPEG, click it. And you can click and look inside your image, right? And there's lots of videos of how to rename your files in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Bridge, but here you would just type your last name, underscore, your project number, underscore, and your shot number, right? So this is for project 1, it'd be P1 shot 1. And then the width and height. So since this is a landscape image, I mean it's of a landscape, but I'm talking about to the format, like it's landscape orientation. It's wider than it is tall. So obviously the width is going to be the higher number of the width and height numbers. So I'm just going to select that, because again, you just select whatever is the highest or biggest number and change it to 1920. And then watch what happens. I'm going to click inside the height, but I'm doing nothing but activating it. And it auto-calibrates to match or maintain the aspect ratio of the image. Otherwise, it would squish it or expand it. So this chain link comes automatically clicked, so leave it there. It'll keep the aspect ratio of the image. It's okay that this is not a perfect full HD. Again, that's a ballpark figure. We just want the longest dimension to be 1920 pixels. That's plenty for us to review. The quality is going to come in at a default at 70% with this program. I recommend you just go ahead and drag it up to 100%. And attached metadata is going to, by default, be unchecked. But check it. This program has cookies, so it's going to remember that you checked it, and it's going to leave it checked for the next time. But do always check it, because we need your metadata to grade your project. And then click Save. And it's going to save to the download area of your computer, whether that's a Mac or Windows machine. And that's all you have to do. It's ready to go. So I hope this helped. for those of you who do not have Photoshop and you have still a lot of the functionality that you need for just basic photography correction. Enjoy the course.